Right, hello everyone. Good morning and a warm welcome from beautiful spring Berlin. Very excited to welcome you all to the second session of our monthly webinar series, the 2025 Customer Loyalty Playbook, Retention in the Age of AI. This series is happening every second Thursday on every month, and our focus is going to be on delivering you actionable insights on how to leverage AI and conversational commerce for measurable retention outcomes. We'll have some experts from our team this time, as well as a very special guest client who's also joining, and you'll get a chance to ask all your questions live at the end. Still seeing some people coming in, so just give them a couple of minutes and I'll share a little bit more about what you'll learn today and go over some housekeeping rules. So today's session will be about how you can combine Charles and Klaviyo to unlock omnichannel customer loyalty with WhatsApp. We're going to be talking about how the Charles and Klaviyo integration works and giving you a live demo of some super cool new features that we've added recently. And then we'll hear from our very special guest speaker about a super cool case that her company is doing with their integration with Charles and Klaviyo. The event today will be around 50 to 60 minutes in total. Our talk is going to take 30 to 45 minutes of that time. And then at the end, we'll have another interactive Q&A part for about 20 minutes. And in case you do want to ask a question, and I definitely hope that you do, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and we'll pick up the most interesting questions that we can answer live. If you do that, please send your questions to everyone and not just the panelists so that the rest of the audience can see them. And my colleagues who are here will also try to answer some more questions in the background. We are going to be recording this webinar, so if you do need to leave early, that's completely fine. But I would encourage you to stay until the end so that we can participate in the question and answer section. Okay, so to get us started, my name is Ben. I'm a senior product marketing manager here at Charles. Been part of the team since the beginning of this year. Very happy to be here. And I'm also very happy to be joined today by Dennis Boos, part of the customer success team at Charles, and our special guest, Annika Rentel, from our partner, Wellnest. Very nice to see you both. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Hi, Dennis.
Sure thing. Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Dennis. As Ben already said, I'm part of the success team here at Charles. I've been with Charles since last August, and I'm coming to you guys today from beautiful Black Forest here in Germany. And today, just super excited to be part of the webinar to bring these new features to you guys. And even more excited to hear a little bit about our special guest speaker. Annika, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Nice to be here. I'm really excited to share our use case here. I'm Annika from Wellnest, marketing manager, and hosting Klaviyo and Charles. And yeah, very excited to share our use case with you.
Super exciting. Thanks, guys. And I'm also joined by my colleagues in the background, Umam Nasir and Jakob Wolf Martinez, who will be helping out later to answer some more technical questions and topics. So say hi to them as well. But yeah, to get us started, Dennis, to you. Why are we here today? Let's start there.
Awesome question, Ben. So happy to answer that. Basically, I think the title already kind of says this. One of our most popular integrations just got a boatload of new features. Our Klaviyo integration that most of you in the chat might already use or are going to want to use after this great webinar. And today it's just really about kind of like showing you guys what we've been working on and how we made our Klaviyo integration the most powerful WhatsApp X Klaviyo integration on the market. Bring you guys a little bit of inspiration, a bit of knowledge, and just kind of like that drive to log right in after the webinar and get started.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Perfect. Well, let's move on then to the next part. But before we jump into all the things that you're going to talk about with the Klaviyo integration, I just wanted to take a quick moment to chat about why WhatsApp. Why do we think WhatsApp is interesting for companies who are using Klaviyo? I know some attendees in the call are almost certainly using both Klaviyo and WhatsApp together. But for those who aren't currently using WhatsApp as a channel, I just wanted to give a super quick introduction of why we believe WhatsApp is such a powerful channel for connecting with your customers. At Charles, we believe that messaging apps are the future of customer interaction. And if you look at companies like Meta, they're investing very heavily into these kinds of channels through Europe and throughout the world. in countries like Brazil, Southeast Asia, China. There's already kind of you can see this move where messaging apps are the way that consumers interact with brands, and we think that is the future for Europe as well. So talking specifically about WhatsApp, we have seen that it shines in areas where other channels can struggle. When it comes to running ads online or over social media, you can usually get quite a good reach with those as long as your budget is there, but the engagement is usually much lower and you don't have as much opportunity for personalization. And then if you have users download an app, you can get really good engagement from those users and great personalization through account creation and login. But then your reach is limited to your user base, to the people who are signed into your app. And plus, people usually turn off notifications for apps. I know I do for most of mine. For emails, it's a great channel. It's usually a decent reach because you can build up a subscriber base easier than an app user base. You can also do like great personalization through tags, CRM data, that kind of thing. But there also the engagement is usually quite low. And we see that like people more and more seem to be responding to emails less and less in recent years. And for us, that's why WhatsApp is so exciting. You can take the reach potential of gathering a subscriber base, as you can with email. You can combine it with even the potential of like running at things like click-to-chat ads, or having like a QR code on your website, or even physically in a store. You can personalize your campaigns over WhatsApp with zero-party data that's collected, like shirt size or order history, this kind of thing. And with WhatsApp, we see that the engagement is very, very high. Our customers are typically seeing numbers in the range of like 80 to 85% open rates on their campaigns, click-through rates around 30 to 40%. And one number that we really like to look at here is revenue per recipient. So what's the amount of revenue that is generated for a company per recipient that they send in a WhatsApp campaign? Typically, if you look at something like email, you're seeing something around like 20 cents revenue per recipient, versus with WhatsApp, our customers are seeing around like 2.5 euros on average, and sometimes much more, depending on the client. But now to our next point. Why is WhatsApp specifically exciting for Klaviyo users? And to talk about that just briefly, what our integration between Charles and Klaviyo allows you to do is to seamlessly integrate WhatsApp into your cross-channel marketing strategy. And we like to call this omnichannel marketing. That this means you can create campaigns that incorporate your email and SMS channels through Klaviyo, and also incorporate WhatsApp through Charles into those same campaigns. And you can use Klaviyo, for what it's best at, as a source of truth, CRM, the data that you collect in Charles via your WhatsApp campaigns will sync with your CRM data in Klaviyo automatically, and you can use it in all the channels. This allows you to do things like target your customers more effectively. So if you're a skincare brand, you could collect your customer's skin type preference, with like dry skin or oily skin, as a custom property through a WhatsApp flow. And then that data will be synced automatically to Klaviyo, and then you can send them an email campaign, maybe 24 hours later or something, to show them relevant products for their skin type. And then also, if they don't respond to that email, you have that data as well. So you could send them a follow-up message automatically via WhatsApp on the next day, recommending those same products for their skin type. So you can kind of, mix and match your channels to get the most engagement and retention out of your users. And we think that's really powerful. This is the kind of the thesis of our argument here, is that our integration allows you to fold WhatsApp into your marketing ecosystem seamlessly. Now, Dennis, back to you. Let's talk about these new features that we just added to our Klaviyo integration. Do you want to give us a quick overview before we jump into the product demo?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Really, really exciting stuff already here, Ben. Thank you. And as we can see right here, we have 4 new features for you guys, and each one of them a little bit more exciting than the next one. But for right now, maybe quick agenda. What is this demo going to look like? What are these 4 features? Kind of like a top level overview. And then we're going to jump into actual real life use cases, one after another, the setup, how does everything actually work? Let's get right into it. The first feature, you guys can see it here, no phone number, no problem, is going to revolve all around something called an external reference ID that is going to now allow us to trigger Klaviyo webhooks right into Charles without having any phone number recorded in a Klaviyo profile, which just gives you guys so much more reach, so much more sendings, and hopefully down the line, so much more revenue with your channels. Second feature is going to be a really easy and intuitive new way to trigger flows in Charles from Klaviyo without any webhooks, without any complicated setups, for everybody that just wants to get quick to market and make things happen right away. Feature number 3 is going to talk all about data that we collect inside of Charles and that up to this point we have not been displaying inside of Klaviyo, and you guys were unfortunately not able to use in your email and SMS marketing. This changes today. We got a whole load of data coming to Klaviyo that you guys will be excited to use. And feature number 4, which in my opinion is the most exciting feature that Annika is also going to tell you a lot about later as well, is going to capture zero-party data in Charles through custom properties and sync them right over into Klaviyo. This just allows you to get so much data, so much information, and like preferences of your customers, bring it into your marketing mix, use it everywhere, right? So I think really, really exciting stuff. And I think we can just get right into the first case for the demo. And for that, I'm just going to have to share my screen here real quick. And I hope everybody can see that, right? Sweet. Awesome. So where are we right now? Why does this look so different? And you guys might have already guessed it. This is our new Klaviyo integrations that you guys can find from tomorrow on in all of your universes as well. And we can see here that it looks sleeker, it looks easier, it has all the features that we are used to know, maybe to get everybody up to speed here real quick, like things like profile sync, getting all your profiles from Klaviyo into Charles and syncing them there on the base of the email. Right below that, our list and email sync. How are we going to use Klaviyo segments that we built with the Klaviyo logic and Klaviyo data over here in Charles? It's a one-click sync. We can use it right away. Your campaigning is going to be more efficient. All the things that we already know and love, as well as 2 new features up here that we're going to get into just a little bit later when we go through the use cases, because our first feature that I would like to show you guys is actually something that some of you will already know. It's the Klaviyo webhook trigger that I have prepared something a little bit here for you guys that should look familiar. A little flow inside of Charles is this. Basically, for everybody that might not know yet, a Klaviyo webhook trigger allows you to trigger a Charles flow right out of a Klaviyo flow by implementing one little webhook inside of the Klaviyo flow, filling in a little bit of data, and then basically making a seamless connection between email marketing to your customer into WhatsApp marketing. And just to kind of like visualize what the new feature really is and how we're going to improve this, or how we did improve it, I also built a little flow inside of Klaviyo over here, which is the same abandoned cart flow that I just showed to you guys, just kind of like the other part of the puzzle. Now, I think it's going to be easiest understood if we just kind of like go through the abandoned cart flow, catch everybody up to speed, and then go into the feature improvement with the webhook. Basically, what an abandoned cart flow really is in the trigger, it's going to recognize that somebody has bought something or not bought something, has created a basket, has created a cart, went to the checkout, but did not actually go through with the purchase and has not bought something in X time frame. Usually what you guys are going to do, or what we see most clients going to do right after that, is they're going to send an email to just kind of see if they can't recover this sale with an easy email and relatively inexpensive channel. Now, where does WhatsApp, where does Charles kind of like get into the mix here? This happens all down here with these 2 nodes. Usually after an email, we're going to wait a certain amount of time to leave the customer the opportunity, okay, hey, I am going to go back, I am going to recover my checkout, and I'm going to buy this item. If they don't do it, we can check on that with this conditional split node right inside of Klaviyo, which we're going to set up in the following way. The first condition is going to be properties about someone. Here we can just select from a drop-down menu, easy as that, Charles opt-in status is true. This means that the user going through this flow also has an opt-in with Charles, and we are allowed to send them messages over WhatsApp. And the second condition, obviously, we're going to want to check is, has this person bought something in this waiting time I gave them? If they have, then we don't have to follow up. If they have not, then our cool little webhook here comes into the mix. And this webhook is basically just the connection between this trigger over here and this flow inside of Klaviyo. And for everybody that's maybe not have worked with webhooks before, quick little explanation what a webhook really is and how we can look at it. So up here we have these settings for the destination. You can kind of think of that as an address. Where am I going to send a package to? This is the address, right? It composes out of a URL, a key, and a value, which you can easily all find inside of your webhook trigger up here. And then the second part of a package that I'm sending out is kind of like the contents. What am I sending away? And through Klaviyo and Charles, we're sending away data. This data is usually emails, the abandoned cart URL, and the phone number. Previously, the phone number was always needed to trigger a webhook from Klaviyo into Charles. Nowadays, no longer. This is our first big feature improvement down here, this external reference ID. This little 2 lines is going to allow all of you guys to trigger your webhooks solely based on the email sync. So if we have a profile in Klaviyo with email dennis.booth@hello-charles.com and we have the same one in Charles, I no longer need a phone number inside of a Klaviyo profile to send over a webhook and start WhatsApp marketing right over there. It just connects to each other just with these 2 lines of code. So what I want all of you guys to do right after the webinar, not right now, but after the webinar, is to go into your webhook triggers, find the webhook, and then just take these 2 little lines and put them in your webhook in Klaviyo, as well in your webhook in Charles, and just improve your sending in a matter of minutes. You're going to have more volume sending, and you're going to have, hopefully down the line as well, more revenue. Quick little reminder, after this webinar, you guys are going to get an email with the recording, and there we will also link this Help Center article that is going to go into detail about how to trigger a Klaviyo webhook and this new feature as well, if anybody would like to get a little more in-depth with it. Now, I feel like that explains kind of what a webhook does and what this new improvement does pretty well. If not, feel free to ask questions that we can come to later on as well. But enough time and enough show time for the webhook trigger, because we actually have a new way to trigger Charles flows from Klaviyo in town, and that is going to be our Klaviyo event trigger, for which I have also created a little flow for you guys, being this back in stock flow right here. Also something that most of you guys are hopefully all too familiar with. Back in stock basically just means we are selling something on our website perhaps, and it's not in stock right now. User can sign up to get notified per email, per SMS, per WhatsApp to hear when this item is back in stock and when they can come back and buy it. And basically how we are going to trigger this back in stock flow inside of Charles is through our new trigger, the Klaviyo metric trigger. And taking a look at the Klaviyo metric trigger here, we can see it looks a lot less complicated and a lot less convoluted than the webhook does. And that is because it is. It is as easy as selecting Klaviyo metric trigger up here, and then down here, selecting the metric event that is supposed to trigger this Charles flow. Really simple, really easy. And as you guys see, we have a boatload of different events down here, and it actually is going to sync all your custom metric events as well right into this trigger. So it really doesn't matter what kind of use case you have in mind right now. If you can create a little metric event for that in Klaviyo, you can also bring it over to Charles and send people WhatsApp messages right away. Now, why did I choose back in stock for this example? I chose back in stock for this example because that is, in my mind, one of the best use cases for this Klaviyo metric trigger. The customer is usually already hot, they're waiting for it, they just want to buy it, and I want to be with the client through the fastest channel as fast as possible when this item goes back in stock. And what would be a better opportunity to do that than WhatsApp? And as you guys can see, all I did was this goes back in stock, my customer is waiting for it, I'm checking, can I send WhatsApp marketing through them through a double opt-in? And if so, boom, we go out with a WhatsApp. I'm sending them a personalized WhatsApp with their preferred name, with the item name coming direct from Klaviyo, and with the item URL also coming directly from Klaviyo. This whole setup is going to take you a few minutes to set up and should bring in revenue and engagement right away pretty much. And kind of to take another look real quick back at the huge list of events and metrics that we have over here. Not all of them are going to make always sense for you, and don't ever feel pressure to use all of them, but I think a few of them are really, really significant to kind of like be on top of mind in these moments when it's the most important to your customer. For example, back in stock, they want to buy, be there and help them to get the sale done. Fulfilled order, for example, it's that you be like, okay, it just arrived. This is one of these crucial moments in the customer journey where I want to put my best foot forward. Or maybe even things like canceled order, where, okay, this person was already convinced they want to buy something, now they stop. Let me follow up over a familiar and personal challenge and just be there in these moments where it's the most important for my customer and the easiest channel possible, which is WhatsApp. I don't think I have to go on and drone about why this feature is just amazing and why it's going to make you guys' life so much easier. Please feel free after this webinar, go check it out. I'm sure all of you guys have 1 or 2 use cases in mind that would make things great for you. And I would just jump right into the next feature that we just brought it on. And if you guys remember from the little slide that Ben showed, the third feature was all about data. Data that we are now bringing into Klaviyo. And so I'm going to go back to Klaviyo real quick, and I'm going to go down here to analytics and find something called metrics, because WhatsApp now has a bunch of metrics inside of Klaviyo right at your disposal to use for your segmentation, for your listing, and for your sendings. And it usually is event and opt-in data. So for opt-in data, we always had this one property that says child opt-in status equals true or equals false to see if a person has opted in or not. What we were not able to do, what we are able to do now, is we can see what opt-in they are opted into. So is this a single opt-in? Is this a double opt-in? Is this some kind of event opt-in? Is this something specific or something general? And this is just going to make it so much easier for us to identify our engagement level and our clients from charts inside of Klaviyo and use the data over there. So far to the opt-ins. What about these down here? We can also now see for all our Klaviyo profiles, if they have a child subscription or are in you guys' WhatsApp channel, have they received a message? Have they read this message? Have they clicked on the URL? If they have, what URL was it? We just are now able to track pretty much all of the engagement and opt-in right in Klaviyo. And to just kind of like show you guys what's possible with that, to make it a little easier to understand, I have also created a few little segments, and I'm going to create one with you guys right now. So up here, I have 2 things created, and basically these are Charles active single opt-ins as well as Charles active double opt-ins. And we can see right now here that it's as easy as going into this maybe real quick, edit definition, and then put things up for a metric, which is what somebody has done. Quickly reminder here, a metric is an event. It's not something constant, it's something that has happened at a certain point in time, which is why opt-ins also have dates and timestamps. It happened at some point, we know what happened, and we can also segment by what has happened this way. And also, we do have still our old property, which is child's opt-in status is true, meaning that this opt-in is still active. So what we really are looking at right now is we are looking at 2 segments that allow us to immediately differentiate between between single opt-ins and double opt-ins. And something else we're going to do is we're going to just click on create new and create on segment. And we're going to create a segment that is all about engagement. So for this, we could do, for example, clicked campaign webinar. And we are going to now want to find out who has clicked on a Charles campaign about the webinar, for example. So what we're going to do is what somebody has done. Then we click on here and we look for WhatsApp, because this is about WhatsApp. WhatsApp message clicked at least once in the last, here's our time span. Let's say we are talking about 30 days. Now here we have this little filter symbol, and this little filter symbol is going to let us go through a more granular view of clicks. And then we're going to now go in here and click on any of these attributes that might be relevant to us. To me right now, what is relevant is the campaign name, because I want to know who has clicked on a campaign with the name webinar. Now, that's all I had to do. With this list, I will now have a live view of all users in Charles that have clicked on a campaign, and I can now decide, do they need a follow-up with email? Do they not need one? Do I want to incorporate SMS marketing for this? This data is for me to use, and I can find my own ways to do it, but it's there and it's available for you now as well. And with that, enough data, enough looking at nerdy numbers. Let's look at our last really cool feature, which is the custom property import, the zero-party data import. For this, I have actually created a small little welcome flow for you guys, because I feel like it just kind of shows right away how much these features actually now more connect Klaviyo and WhatsApp. And for that, just as a reminder, please always GDPR conform, ask your customers if they would like to opt into your channel or not, which we are doing right here. Somebody's going to send us a message, hey Charles, please keep me up to date. They want to know more about Charles, they want to stay in the loop, no problem. We're going to ask them if they want to, if they are sure, right? Hey, awesome, please say, keep me updated to get you opt-in, yes or no. And then from there on out, people are going to either get an opt-in or they're going to say no, and then they're just going to miss out. But if they do say, I do want to opt in, we have a little reminder up here, actually, what is immediately getting synced over to Klaviyo. I just showed it to you guys. We have the date, we have the time, we have the opt-in time, opt-in type, and the opt-in status synced right over with our last feature. But we're going to look at our new feature. So we're going to go one step further, which usually this is something that most clients also do for us, is they ask for the email inside the welcome flow to then have this one unique identifier to see what are people doing in my shop system, what are people doing in my Klaviyo, and across the board, really. And here we can see already a sweet new icon, Klaviyo property, down here. And what this means is basically that I have selected email to be also synced as a property over to Klaviyo. This not just only means that we are now automatically, as previously, syncing email accounts, profiles by the email to each other. So if I have a Charles profile with one email and it matches the email of a Klaviyo profile, we're syncing them. But also, if I have a Charles profile with an email, and this email cannot be found in Klaviyo.net, we will automatically create an account for you inside of Klaviyo with all the information, email, phone number, and what we also want to know, preferences, etc. of this customer in your Klaviyo, making this data transport and having everybody in the same channel so much easier. And I think this feature only really gets like understandable how awesome it is when we go one step further here to what are your preferences. At the end of this opt-in flow, I want to ask you guys or clients or whoever, hey, what do you even want to be in the loop about? Is it just about product updates? Do you want to talk about events and conventions, best practices, everything, right? And what I have done is I have down here selected, I can show this actually really quick as well because it's so easy, in the setting wheel, store in a custom property. I have previously created a custom property called webinar topics, and I have told my Klaviyo integration, please sync this over into interests over to Klaviyo, which now means that whenever a user goes through this welcome flow and gives me an answer about the preferences, I'm immediately going to sync this over to Klaviyo as well. And now I have this data to use for all my channels, for SMS, for email, for everything I can connect my Klaviyo to as well. There's basically unlimited options here. And just to kind of like give you guys a few more ideas what can be sent over. Things like interest, things like buying power. Are you just here for sales or for everything? After sales service, this is really easy to get answers on through WhatsApp when it's really hard to get answers on through email or your shop system to begin with. But also really rudimentary things like birthdays, stuff like that, we can now all easily by one click send over to Klaviyo and be done with it. And I think I gave a hopefully comprehensive overview of what this feature kind of can do for most of you guys. And now we're going to have somebody talk about it, has really pushed this feature to the limits. Annika, why won't you tell us a little bit about what Wellnest has done and yeah, what you have done before?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for the handover, Dennis. Yes, there we are. Right. So before we dive into the technical setup, let's take a quick look at the challenge we were facing. What is Wellnest? Wellnest is a private spa company from Germany, and we created a new generation spa combining privacy, me time, and collecting memories with your favorite people, for example, friends, family, or your loved ones. And we have private nests, which are for up to 4 people, and you have sauna, whirlpool, experience shower, a lounge, and the possibility to stream music, movies, or order food and drinks directly into your Nest and individualize your experience with our Vibe packages. You can book it daily all year around via our online booking system. And now we have the situation that sometimes guests cancel their bookings last minute because of, for example, illness or whatever. And at the same time, some of our locations are fully booked weeks in advance, which you can see in the screen video. And so those looking for a spontaneous getaway often miss the chance when a slot becomes available again because of cancellation, for example. And what inspired us to create our so-called Nest alerts. So the principle is people sign up and select their top three preferred locations in order to receive a notification whenever a nest becomes available in one of those cities within the next 72 hours. It's a win-win for us and for users to sell last-minute slots and offer a service for spontaneous spa time. Of course, we already had email notifications in place, but let's be honest, as we mentioned before, they just weren't fast enough. So we asked ourselves, what's a channel? People actually check immediately, and the answer was WhatsApp. So let's have a look at the setup of our Nest alerts via charts. We have our own self-made booking system, which means that there's no Charles integration at the time. But it syncs with Klaviyo. So our solution was to use the new Klaviyo integration features from Charles to send data in real time between Charles, Klaviyo, and our booking platform. That's the back end. And now here's what the user journey looks like. When people sign up via our Nest Alert link, they need to accept our condition to receive Nest Alerts. And then with the double opt-in as a custom property called Receive Nest Alerts is added to the profile. Customers then select up to 3 cities they want to receive Nest Alerts for, which also get added as a custom property to their profiles. And their email address is also collected to enrich the profile in Klaviyo, and all those custom properties are stored and synced to Klaviyo in real time. Now, when we have the situation that free slots are available in the next 72 hours, it's pushing from our booking system into the Klaviyo flow where we have the trigger set up. And then there's a conditional split which checks the custom properties. So is receive Nest Alerts equals yes, and the child's opt-in status is true. If yes, they get into the webhook, which is the connection to the flow in Charles, which Dennis explained earlier. And in Charles, we have a flow per city with a trigger, which is the Klaviyo webhook, and a following condition, Nest Alert double opt-in. Then properties include city X, and properties don't include Nest Alert received, because users receive a tag when they get a Nest Alert message via WhatsApp from us, and this tag expires after 3 days then again. That's to avoid spam and not contact them very often. Yeah, and that's what our impact is with the Nest Alerts. If someone cancels or there's a free slot, the other get a Nest Alert on WhatsApp. And that's a fast and easy info for the users. And users love the speed and the relevance of the channel. For us, bookings are safe that would have gotten unused. And we have an increased revenue and reduced opportunity costs. And moreover, we have sign-ups saved in both Charles and Klaviyo. So our result is a conversion rate overall from 1.1, and in a specific case, it's a 500% improvement compared to the email Nest Alerts, which is huge. And keep in mind, the 1.1 is very strong because we have only limited slots and the possibility of a purchase in this case. Yes, and for us in general, this is a true win-win because guests are happy and we are filling more slots in the end.
That's great. Thanks so much, Annika.
So
Very
cool.
cool stuff. Yeah, I think it's such a cool use case to see. I think it's also very relevant for a lot of brands probably watching, just showing like the creativity of the kinds of things you can do with WhatsApp and with Klaviyo and using this data all together. It's really, there's so much that you can do with like customizing things and making very specific journeys and stuff. That's great. Before we get into the questions, I just wanted to do a couple other examples of some cool stuff you can do with Charles and Klaviyo. For example, we have this, you can set up something like a birthday campaign. So if you have a customer's birthday saved in Klaviyo as data, you can send them a WhatsApp message on their birthday that has a special discount code just for them. You know, I would like to receive that from some brands, I think, and probably more likely to use it than if I got it in an email. And next, as Dennis mentioned, back in stock campaigns are very powerful here. So if someone requested a restock notification, you have that data in Klaviyo, and you can send them a WhatsApp message immediately once it's available. But on top of that, you can also do things like post-purchase campaigns. So after someone has bought something from you, you can send them, a day or two later, maybe a week later, you can send them a follow-up message with some more relevant products that maybe go well. Like in this case, you have someone's buying a rain jacket, and then you can send them, hey, here's a backpack to take on your camping trip. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this integration. And all the data that you capture in WhatsApp can be used by your Klaviyo campaigns and vice versa. Awesome. So I think that is wrapping us up, and I think it's time for the Q&A session. So let's jump over here. Let's see some audience questions. So can you trigger WhatsApp messages to be sent through automated flows within Klaviyo? And I believe yes. The answer is yes. We went over a couple examples there, either via the Klaviyo webhook trigger or the Klaviyo metric trigger. Is there anything you'd like to add there, Dennis?
No, that's absolutely right. There's basically the two options to trigger the flows, but coming from there, it's almost limitless what use cases you can really put together.
Perfect. Next question is it possible to aggregate the reporting between Klaviyo and Charles, e.g. the abandoned cart, shopping cart example, to keep a precise overview of the performance?
I would actually push that question over to our product lead, Jacob Wolf-Martinez, if he would like to jump on that really quick now or after the webinar, since I feel like this is a little bit.
To answer this, so the one feature that we also demoed was the export of the events, right? These metrics from Charles to Klaviyo, like the engagement events, whenever someone clicks on a message or reads a message, gets a message delivered. And you can create dashboards based on these events within Klaviyo, and create, for example, a funnel report showing how many people received an email, how many people received a WhatsApp, how many people clicked on a WhatsApp. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. Perfect. Next question from the audience. Can we create a segment in Klaviyo for customers who have received a WhatsApp campaign to exclude them from the email campaign? I believe Dennis answered this during the demo live. But if there's anything more you'd like to add, feel free, Dennis, but I think it was shown in the demo. Nice. Maybe another question here. What are we planning next for the integration? What's kind of next on the horizon? Maybe Jakob, we can kick that one to you.
So features that we are planning is to also import more data into Charles, right? So many of the features that we presented are a lot about how to make sure that all the data you gather via WhatsApp ends up in Klaviyo, but we also want to make sure that we can use all the that you can use all the properties that you have in Klaviyo within Charles if you want to create segments in Charles directly. So this will be the next thing we will work on.
Very cool. Sounds great. Another question. Can we import contact properties?
Yeah, so this is pretty much in line with what I just said before, right? So at the moment, it's not possible. However, you can use the webhook node in Klaviyo to send data to Charles, so there's workarounds for it. But we will work on a feature where you can really map what are all the properties you want to use in Charles to make this as easy as possible to use for segmentation.
Perfect. And last question here, can I use Charles events for Klaviyo's revenue attribution?
Yeah, so Klaviyo's revenue attribution currently only works with email and other Klaviyo native channel events. So currently that's not possible, but as I said before, when it comes to reporting, you can still create custom reports where you can look at what is the, like within Klaviyo, what the effectiveness of the combined flows with email and WhatsApp are. And within Charles, we also have a revenue attribution model that helps you attribute orders to WhatsApp campaigns, so you can still see what is actually the outcomes that you get from the marketing campaign, from the WhatsApp campaigns.
Awesome. That's very cool. I'm seeing one more question in the chat. Can you send an email and follow the WhatsApp or vice versa? And I believe I can take this question. I think we saw in the demo, the answer is for sure yes. This is one of the, I think the main use cases people are using for the integration is that you can send an email and then you get the data on who opened it and who didn't, and you can send a WhatsApp as a follow-up to the people who either opened or didn't, depending on your preference, and vice versa, because you have that data now with the Klaviyo metric of, you know, WhatsApp message clicked or looked through. Yeah. Anything to add on that, Dennis, or?
No, you got it, Ben.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Well then, I think I don't see any more questions in the chat, but I think maybe that's wrapping things up. So maybe we get a few minutes back of our Thursday, everyone. So that'll wrap things up. And as I mentioned, don't forget to join us for our next webinar, which will be on May 15th, not on May 8th because of the public holiday. And we'll also be sharing some very exciting news with you later this month about the future of AI at Charles, which we're super excited about. And we hope to see some of you at OMR in May. And we'll have more news there as well. In the next webinar session, we're going to be talking all about AI agents and how they're going to be intersecting with conversational commerce, messaging apps, all these things. And since you're already signed up for the webinar series here, you can just simply join at the same link next month. But please feel free to share the sign-up link to all of your colleagues and friends who you think would also be interested so they can join as well. Thanks again, everybody. And thanks to all of our panelists, and hope everyone has a great rest of your Thursday. Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.